Walks me through a few questions, created the code for Google Apps Script. We'll go ahead and run the code. Okay, so here it is. It just generated the form for us. Hey everyone, it's Ben Cole here. Today we're going to walk through a custom GPT that I built in ChatGPT, which enhances the process of creating Google Forms. Now, this is useful because it improves the speed and efficiency of time-consuming manual process of structuring forms, formatting questions, and ensuring consistency. Additionally, it ensures clean, structured, and bias-free data collection, which is not easy to do unless you're someone who has a lot of experience in this domain. And lastly, it's highly adaptable across different industries and different use cases. All right, without further ado, let's jump in. So we have four select options here. Now, these are the main types of forms that you can create. I would say these are pretty mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. So we're going to click feedback forms to start off. So you can see it first asks to provide a basic description and overview of exactly what you're trying to achieve with your form. Collect feedback from the attendees of. Okay, so here I just want to collect feedback from the ones who attended an event I hosted. Now, this is just a sample case. Here I've attached the report from the World AI Summit held last year, and I'm going to put this through. And now it walks me through a few questions just to give it a better idea of how to actually structure the survey. Okay, now I'll just add a few notes based off of the questions that they had asked me. Okay, and we can see it gave me an overview of what is exactly included within the form, and I can give feedback on whether or not I want to change anything or add to, but it created the code for Google Apps Script. So we can see the code here to create the form. I'm going to go ahead and select all. Now I'm here in Google Apps Script. I'm going to go ahead and paste that code and then give it a title. We'll go ahead and run the code, and we can see that the execution has been completed. So let's jump over to Google Forms, and we can see here's the form that was just created from the script. Go ahead and view. Okay, so here it is. It just generated the form for us. We can see there's rating scales on different parts from the event. There's also an option to select who was your favorite speaker, and then just general suggestions for improvement. Now, this is super basic, but something I whipped up in just a couple minutes here. Now, I could have given more of a description on exactly what I wanted, but it did the trick, in just a couple minutes, it was able to give me ideas for the form as well as actually create the form through Google Apps Script. Now, Google Apps Script is something I'm a little bit newer to, so still exploring some of the possibilities here. But basically, when I programmed the custom GPT, I had programmed it with the code for creating forms, and you can find this publicly available online. And we'll take a quick peek at the instructions. You see I have the different conversation starters based off the type of form, peek at some of the instructions that I programmed this GPT with. Also, some sample code from Google Apps Script. So this was a little bit of trial and error originally when creating, but the reason I really like this GPT is because it showcases how processes are going to change, I think, throughout time. Now, I know if you're trying to create an extremely comprehensive professional surveyor form, this solution might not be optimal. However, this is a prime example of how certain tasks are going to become easier, and I think creating work at a high level is going to become more accessible. For example, if everyone in an organization had access to a tool like this that wasn't just something whipped up in an hour from a college student, but something that was very custom and tailored toward the organization's needs, I think that it would empower a lot of people in that organization to create work that is of really high quality and in a very time efficient manner. I can tell you that someone who doesn't create forms on a regular basis, this would give them a guide on how to structure it, what types of questions to ask, how do they ensure data integrity, how can they keep things consistent. I mean, it's really within seconds so that it generates that Google Apps Script code and it gave me the form. So, I think this is like an oversimplified use case, but communicating with language models is going to be a key part of a lot of processes and organizations. So kind of break down some of these processes in a way that can be replicated. In the end of the day, produce better work at a faster rate. It's not like we just press a button and AI spits out a form. That's not what's going on here. It's AI is being a guide, being a consultant, asking the right questions, pulling the right information, and really getting our gears turning where we can be creative, we can be strategic and produce higher quality work. But it's really about the structure. It's really about a system that can work with us in tandem. And this is kind of the way that I've programmed this GPT. As you can see, it opened up really just trying to get more information from us. I think the fact that, a college student can, with really no experience in programming, can make this within an hour, I mean, really demonstrates the potential. It's really just having the idea and understanding how can I take a process that tends to be a little repetitive or mundane and really enhance it and make it more of a strategic, creative process. I'm happy to go into a little bit more detail with anyone if they want to know kind of what the process was like of building this. Some other use cases maybe I'm still looking into. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed this episode. Please leave comment. Let me know what you think. I'm always interested in getting feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.